Hello, in this recording I'd like to walk us through a design I made recently for a customer that wanted to be able to have an override option in variable pay where they would be able to enter 0 as an override for someone with the associated reason or any value they wanted that would be different from the calculated payout or no override at all, and in which case the final payout would be the calculated payout by the variable pay template. So a couple of things about it. This design is only possible as far as I've tested, and I've spent quite a bit of time testing this. It's not possible unless we add this technical column that is here. That will do, basically, it has a formula in it that says if the value in this column is no, which assumes that everybody is going to get a value, whether it's no or 0 or 5,000. If we look at the lookup table, there must be a catch-all rule in the lookup table that is uploaded by the customer. Once we have that, we're going to say here in this column, we're going to have a formula that say if the value in override, which is string column, equal no, then show 1, otherwise show 2. Now that we have that, we know whether the person has an override loaded in the lookup or no, and we're able to build the formula as a consequence in here. I've tried to build this whole design without this technical column for many hours and wasn't able to make it work because there's a system limitation that prevents us from either differentiating between text and numbers that are brought from a lookup table, or considering, as I said earlier, if we don't have a catch-all rule, which was what I tried to do initially like this, the system, there's a limitation where we are not able to recognize the fact that there is a blank or NA in a formula referencing a formula with a lookup table. So when we nest a formula in here referencing a column that has a lookup table in it, we're not able to identify the fact that there is an NA or a blank, and it's just a system limitation. So we have to be creative and use this column that eventually will be hidden on the worksheet. And so we can see here override 0 because litigation with the company, so final payout equals 0. Here there's no override, so we use the calculated payout all the way same. Here we have a 0 as calculated payout, but no override, so we have 0. And then 5,000 as an override gives us 5,000 here. So let's take a look at how it's built by going to the template. So here we have the standard column for calculated payout from the variable pay template, final payout. So that's a money format column. Then we have the override that calls, that has the formula referencing the lookup table in it. And then so it's a type string. It's very simple. Then same for override reason. It's just calling the second output column. And then we have this column, which is the formula I mentioned. So if the override amount so it's a string column, if override amount equal no, then 1, otherwise 2. And then the final payout here is a little bit more complicated. It's a column of type money. And basically what we're doing is we're wrapping it up in two-number. And then we're doing if this column, override technical 1, equal 1, then we're going to get the final payout column, final payout value from here, calculated payout. Otherwise, if override technical 1 equal 2, then basically the same formula then is inserted into this column where we bring the override amount. Otherwise, NA, but NA shouldn't be showing here in this case because we're always going to have either 1 or 2 in this one. And then we wrap up the two number, the parenthesis for two number at the end. So I thought I'd document this because using lookup tables is a clean way to provide customer with a reliable override that in case, for example, customer needs to delete the worksheets that were created, relaunch worksheets, for any reason, then they won't lose what they had manually entered on the worksheet. So if we make overrides that are editable columns on the worksheet, and then for any reason we need to delete the worksheets and relaunch, then we lose all these overrides. So it's good to build it either as coming from an MDF or from a lookup table. And then in this particular case, the complexity was to be able to do this, to be able to differentiate between um, zero as an override, basically. Yeah. Thanks.